and commercial investment schemes where workers are hired without formal contracts, leading to job insecurity, limited access to remedies for human rights abuses. Additionally, employees may face delays or lack of compensation in the event of workplace accidents. CSOs such as Siatin Uganda, Coalition of Human Rights Defenders, and Voices for Labour want government to investigate the state of workers in commercial investment schemes such as factories, flower farms, and plantations to enforce redress.
Our concerns are informed by the fact that, increasingly, there are a number of labor rights abuses experienced especially by vulnerable groups like women, youth, and people with disabilities. This is partly because there are glaring gaps in labor rights, policies, and administration of the existing laws.
If only the media could even just get a little bit concerned and you do some investigations in the about the living conditions in the flower farms, you will see a manifestation of modern day slavery. There is one of the flower farms, and I don't think I can even apologize for this, in Gayaza. Maybe it's a going concern, but when you go in that flower farm and you listen to a few workers, you'd even want to shed tears. You'd even think, maybe this is not Uganda. In that flower farm, there are these workers who spray, who do spraying. They spray in the greenhouses. Now, the protective, they're supposed to wear protective equipment when they're spraying, but the protective equipment got worn out, so they were told to buy their own gunboots and protective equipment, and they can't afford it. And according to the company policy, you're not supposed to spray in your clothes that you've gone. So what these workers do, they actually spray naked. They spray in those greenhouses naked. Now, if you're talking about, for example, quantity over quality, and someone is in a greenhouse spraying your flowers, naked.
Uganda's legal employment provisions have to date failed to address one crucial element, the minimum wage. The workers' situation has further been worsened by the untenable 1984 enactment of 6,000 shillings as minimum wage. Despite economic shifts and demands, this hasn't been reviewed, thus exposing workers to gross exploitation and income inequality, although the Labour Ministry observes otherwise, as illustrated today during the Labour Day celebrations.
Our last minimum wage, just like the previous speaker said, was last set in 1984 at 6,000 per month. And it was even just for a few sectors. It wasn't for everyone. Now, the cost of living has continued rising up. We are just coming from COVID-19, whereas the government put up some recovery strategies. The strategies still only favor investors. Workers are always treated as in the periphery. And when looking at the development of an economy, you cannot ignore the labor market.
The poor administration in the country has resulted in the isolation of the labor force, which according to CSOs is situated within respective ministries. Administration and restructuring of gender and labor ministry has ultimately been recommended. Additionally, it is crucial to highlight that the Industrial Court of Uganda has been noted as needed to expedite labor dispute resolutions.
Youths, children, disabled, elderly, culture, youth, social development. Are you getting my point? Yeah. So you find that the labor issue does not come out as something tangible. So you get important component of a country economy and you mix it in something which is not related. Now you find the Minister of Labor and the others, they are looking for money for gender. They are looking for funding for other priority. It's only on Labor Day when you see everybody is running. You now go to Namutumba, everybody will be there. All the cars will be there. But when you talk about inspection of labor, inspection of industries, you have seen workers with the hands cut, fingers cut off. Few days ago, workers have died in a factory. But the Minister of Labour has never come out with any statement clarifying on that.
The 2006 Employment Act owns a labor externalization loop that has recently been considered for resolution through the Employment Amendment Bill that was recently passed. Typically, it hasn't been well regulated and many individuals have lost lives in the Arabian Peninsula. Considerations for a labor attaché have been put forward and the Labour Ministry tasked to be responsive to the needs of the people in the society.
When they are just recruiting them, they train them. After training them, where the point of departure, then point of destination, where they are going, who is employing them, you have all this in the system. You must have another person in those countries, especially Middle East, who is monitoring,
The labor
attaché, who is monitoring these workers at the embassy. Where are they going to work? Whom are they working for? And what type of job are they doing? Their safety in that country. The language, the culture, all these things must be put in what? In perspective. So these are some of the things that we want reforms in ministry as far as it's concerned. Because Minister of Labour, as we stand today, is Katogo.
There is growing demand to fix the several shortcomings, for example, investment-related policy frameworks that have failed to protect economic, social, and cultural rights. The recently amended Investment Code Act of 2019 cited to omit requirements for human rights impact assessments, performance measures, and due diligence. Such and more are revisions expected to aid labor protection. Ronah Nahabwe, Smart24 TV, Business Today.